What's up guys, Universal Mastery. So, welcome to my channel. What I do here is I talk about the occult sciences and I break them down to an extremely practical level so that you can use them in your day-to-day life. Okay, so this video is just to literally cover why I made the Archetypal series. So just to give you some clarity on what this Archetypal series is that I just did and why I made it, okay? This is the whole purpose of this video right here. So the first thing I want to say is the reason why I made the Archetypal series is because it is directly correlated to the Tree of Life, the Kabbalah Tree of Life, or you could even say the Kabbalah Tree of Death. More so the Tree of Life though. It gives you more, you could say more aspects on the Tree of Life from the Tree of Life perspective, the Sephiroth perspective. And you know, I've been working through the Qliphoth, I've been working through the tree. Essentially the Tree of Life and the Tree of Death they're very similar, but they're different. They're part of the same tree, but they're different sides, okay? They're different aspects of the same tree. So you're gonna get similar experiences, whatever path that you choose, but even though they're similar experiences, they're gonna be very different. The Qliphoth is gonna be a much more subconscious, unconscious, darker experience, and more intense if you ask me. And then the Sephiroth is going to be the opposite of that. It's gonna be less intense, it's gonna be more, there's gonna be more guidance, there's gonna be more light, things in that nature, more union. So the paths that are on the tree. So what I want you to do is I want you to pull up a picture of what the Tree of Life looks like. Actually, you know what? Matter of fact, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna put it up on this video so that you guys can see. So you're gonna see a picture that's gonna pop up, and it's gonna have all those different pathways. Okay. So each one of those pathways is correlated to a specific tarot card. And those pathways are also numbered. And with those pathways being correlated to a specific tarot card and being numbered, there is a certain order to these pathways. And there's different influences, different experiences that come with these pathways. So if you've ever heard of the term pathworking, this is a big part of where pathworking comes from. It comes from the tree. With the paths connecting right into the sphere. So I want you to think of the paths as being, because when you start to do path working and you start to work with the tree, you know, you initiate yourself into a sphere. I want you to think of the sphere as a paradigm, okay? I want you to think of the sphere as like a paradigm shift, meaning your mind literally starts to think differently. And you could say, if you want my opinion on why that is, I believe it's because the spheres are real places in the astral realm. I believe it's because these spheres are tangible places, and they are definitely tangible, meaning like if I work with one sphere and you work with that same sphere, we're going to have some similarity that is going to show itself in both of our experiences. So I believe these spheres are once again places. I think it's an actual environment, an actual place in the astral plane, in the astral realm. And when you start to work with the spheres, your astral body, whether that be your astral double or your daemon, your divine intelligence, whatever point that you're at, I believe that it travels to those places, those environments, through those spheres when you work with them. And so this work literally is an astral work. It is a very spiritual, hidden type of work, a very occult type of work. Now the pathways connect into those spheres. Now I want you to imagine the pathways as being certain types of almost circumstances, certain types of restrictions, or even certain types of experiences. Maybe it's not restrictions, maybe it's the opposite, maybe it's certain types of fun times, whatever it is. I want you to think of the pathways as being those experiences while you're in the paradigm of the sphere. So that's essentially what it is. The paths on the tree are going to give you the experiences, and those are, once again, also if you watch the video that I have on the Archetypal series, each one of those paths is also correlated to some sort of astrological aspect as well. And for those of you that don't know, astrology 110% affects our psychology, our physiology, our emotional state, our mental state, all of these things. So let's say a path, is correlated to the planet Saturn. Well, guess what? That pathway is going to give you a military-like experience. Next thing you know, you might be involved in martial arts. Let's say the sphere is, let's say you're working with what's it called? The sphere Gavura, or what's known as Golachab from the Clip-Off. That's going to be a very intense sphere. You're going to feel like you might have enemies in that sphere. You're going to feel aggression. You're gonna want to express yourself in that way where you may feel like you have enemies. As I said, you may feel like you have to prove to your enemies who the fuck you are, or whatever it is. That's just the paradigm of that sphere. But that, then the pathways are gonna be like the little experiences, maybe certain people you meet, right? The path can bring in certain people, and then you'll find that they all mesh together. So the spheres on the tree with the different paths, because you'll find that the spheres have multiple different paths that go into it, and you will eventually travel all of these different pathways according to what's in your best interest for your own self-development. So it's not something that you're doing consciously. The paths that are going to make themselves more eminent to yourself, the paths that are going to have more meaning and manifest stronger in your life, are going to be the experiences that you need to go through to help develop yourself and help come to certain realizations for yourself that are going to be in your best interest. So this whole process is an extremely unique process. So I can't sit down and say, you're going to be in this sphere for this amount of time and this path is going to affect you here. It's all up to what you need. And, when it comes to your spirit guides, when it comes to your divine intelligence, that everything is going to happen the way it needs to happen for you. I can't really predict that for you unless I took a lot of time out of my day to do that, and I'm not going to do that. That's why I made this video. Okay, that's why I made the video of the Archetypal series. I just want to address the fact that it didn't get too many views, and I was well aware of that on like the third video. Not too many people understand what it is, and I think that's a reason. I think that's one of the main reasons why it doesn't have too many views. Is because there's so much it's such a deep spiritual practice, right? And it's such a deep spiritual understanding to come across the knowledge and the understanding and the wisdom of the tree and the paths that connect it. So many people have no idea what it is, right? And the paths is one of the aspects of the tree that a lot of people, once again, have no idea about. Okay, so there's people that have no idea what the tree even is. Then there's people that don't know what the spheres are. Then people don't know what the paths are. So this is what I'm talking about. So I was well aware of that. But the reason why I made the series, and I continue to do it over and over and over, no matter what, I didn't care how many views it got, is because I know that there's going to be somebody or multiple people, I guarantee it's going to be multiple people, that are going to use that information, that are going to actually do the work, that are going to figure out how they can initiate themselves into the tree, whether it be the Sephiroth, the Clip-Off. I actually personally already know some people that initiated themselves into the Clip-Off, and I have tons of respect for you and for anyone who's going to undergo that experience if you're ready for it. And the person that, the people that I know that have initiated into that, they're definitely ready for it. Because it's a life-changing experience, and it's literally a massively deep healing process on an intense level. And you come and if you come out on the other side, which I don't doubt the people that I know will, you're gonna be a changed person, and for the better. You're gonna be more aligned with who you are. You're gonna feel like you understand yourself a lot more, and that's the whole goal of it. And then from that there's power in that. There's a lot of power in that. It's a very subconscious, unconscious experience, and you awaken so much within yourself. So yeah, so that's pretty much why I wanted to make this video. I just want to give some clarity on what these pathways are. So So to give a little more clarity, so Path 0, okay? So Path 0 was the first archetype that I made, and that deals with the archetype of the Joker. So this is connecting once again back to the tarot deck, and all the symbolism, you know, that I was talking about with that pathway, all the experience, or all the challenges, all the vices, all the virtues, the astrological aspect. This is all real. This is all real stuff. This is stuff that is, you know, occult science. So, for example, like when you work with that Path 0, and you can find, okay, so there's a website that you can look up on your phone right now if you want to do this, and it's called the Cosmic Navigator. Okay, Cosmic, COSMIC, Navigator, NAVIGATER. I believe that's how it's spelled. Cosmic Navigator. Figure it out. But type in Cosmic Navigator and then type in Kabbalah Tree of Life, and then type in paths. Type in paths, like PATH. If you type all that in, you'll come across information where I was getting pretty much all of my notes from. So I came across this website. I went and I studied it. I wrote down every single pathway. I wrote down everything that all the videos I did, where I shared those attributes and I shared all that information. I wrote every single one down on a piece of paper so I could lodge it in my brain, my subconscious, so that I knew what I was, you know, studying. And I just wanted, and also not only that, but I wanted to make sure what I was studying was legit and it was real stuff. And I will tell you, I went through every path and it is on the dot. Like, it showed me, and there's a reason why I came across that website as well. Like, it was unveiled to me or something, because I had went through this experience of initiation, this whole experience, and towards the very end, when I was in the path of the Joker, that's when I had come across this well, not even actually, it was the path before that. So it was path number 1. I had come across all the information of pretty much the tree of life in general. I had just started studying it. It just revealed itself to me. And I went into it and I realized that everything that I had just studied and read was literally what I had just experienced. And it was a mind-blowing experience for me. But that's why I came across that information. And while I went through it, you know, I didn't know what I was really, while I was in it, going through it, I didn't know what the fuck really I was in or going through, other than the fact that I was initiating myself into some spiritual mysteries and understandings and, you know, trying to reach my highest potential. So yeah, so let's see. So yeah, so the first archetypal video that I made, called Start Here, that's Path 0. So that's, if you go from the very top of the Kabbalah tree, you're gonna see Kether, okay? And once again, we're geared more towards the Sephiroth. Like, all these archetypal paths are more so geared towards the Sephirothic understanding. But you'll still, if you've initiated into the Clip-Oth, or if you know about the Clip-Oth, you're still going to get similar experiences to these archetypal videos that I made. Because once again, the tree of life and the tree of death. I mean, the tree is really called the tree of life because whatever path you take, you're awakening things, right? So it's the same tree. Like, we're talking about the same tree here. We're talking about the Sephiroth and the Clip-Oth. 2 different sides of the same tree. You want to bring them into balance. Being here on Earth, living, existing, being born, you're born into Malkuth, which is already the Sephiroth, okay? And I'll make a whole nother video on the, you know, on the tree and everything, but we're already adept to be in the tree, the Sephirothic side of the tree. So when we talk about the Clip-Oth, we're talking about a little more advanced type of workings. We're talking about stuff that gets a little bit deeper, stuff that most people don't talk about, which is, you know, why I chose the Clip-Oth, because I've always been that person. I've always been someone that's like, I want to, excuse me. I've always been the person that I want to go to the next level, and I will go through whatever I have to go through to get to that level. I will go through the pain. You know, the worst thing that can happen is I don't make it through and I die. And that's not in my nature. It's not in my blood. You know, I'll make it. regardless, no matter how much I have to sacrifice, no matter how much I have to lose. As long as I have my family, like the ones I love, that's all that matters, you know. As long as the people in my life that I love are safe, that is all that matters. And from what I've been doing, you know, this whole working and initiatory system has built a massive level of protection around me and all of my loved ones. So, you know, there's a lot of power in that. But once again, yeah, so all those different archetypal videos, path 0 was the path, the archetype of the Joker, the path of the Joker. And I mean, when you, like, essentially that's the last path that that's one of the last paths that you'll experience when you're initiating, because it's towards Kether, it's towards the top of the tree. Now, Kether is known to be sphere 1, but that's from an energetic standpoint, meaning that energy flows down the tree into Malkuth, which is physical earth. But from an initiation standpoint, like if you're actually going to be working with the tree and initiating yourself into the spheres and experiencing the influences of the pathways and everything, you're going to be starting from Malkuth, and then you're going to initiate into Yesod, which is that astral experience. And then in Yesod, you're probably going to have a realization of, you know, the spiritual mechanics of life, and it's going to kind of like open your third eye. And then from there, then you can have all those other astral experiences, and then all the paths are connected in different ways. You're going to have so many. I mean, this process takes years. Okay, I've been doing this for 2 years. Okay, I'm coming up on that 2-year mark. It hasn't been 2 years yet, a couple months and it'll be 2 years, but this is a long process. And it could take someone longer. I'm a fast learner when it comes to this stuff, and it took me 2 years. I know other people that are fast learners, it took them 2 years as well. But once again, very powerful experience. I highly recommend it. And yeah, that was the whole purpose of me making this video, was to share what exactly those paths are, because somebody's gonna watch this, then they're gonna be like, oh, so that's what they are. This is what the foundation of where they came from is. So let me go ahead and, you know, watch over those videos. Let me go study the spheres on the tree, and let me see if I can put these pieces together. So that's amazing. That's great if you can do that. But imagine having gone through or going through the experience. Imagine watching this video and being like, you know what? I think I can undergo this experience, or I think I want to undergo this experience. And then you go and you initiate this experience, this process, this, you know, this working, right? This path working, meaning you open up the first spheres and you intentfully are like letting it be known that you want to initiate yourself into the tree. And then there's you know, you can do the same. There's literally mantras and certain types of spirits that you call out to open up these spheres and, you know, say, hey, I'm ready to initiate, like open the gates for me. You know, if you do that and you go through this experience and then you start to add this information that I'm presenting and other people are presenting, some other people, and you add that information in to the experience that you're having, think how powerful that is, because you're like a scientist that's studying his own experience, not just putting things together logically and saying, oh, well, this person went there, but yourself, your own self. And that's the art of this. Okay, this is a path of artists, philosophers, teachers, initiators. This is that path, okay? So that's where I'm gonna wrap it up at. I definitely hope this video offered you value. And yeah, so this isn't like my other videos. I just want to make this solely so that you guys can understand where these archetypal paths and, you know, videos came from. Okay, and this is where they came from. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Once again, this is not my normal video. I'm not going to promote anything after, you know, anything like I usually do. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day or night wherever you are, and I love you. Peace.